have the standard. This is what most American beekeepers use for framed cell size.
Okay.
And then what we're using is the small cell size, which is the 4.9 millimeter cell. It's slightly smaller.
Why?
Basically, because the problem that beekeeping is having right now is varroa mites. And varroa mites are actually gestated in the cell with the bee larva.
Okay.
So when they close up that cell, there's a varroa mite larva in there with the bee larva, and they attach and become infested with the thing.
It's like
eventually.
a host. They become a host
Exactly,
to that mite.
to that mite. But the standard large frame bees gestate in 21 days, which is the exact same gestation period of the varroa mite.
Okay.
Small cell bees gestate in 20 days.
And it upsets,
It
offsets the...
It upsets the breeding cycle of the mite.
Okay.
Which is why I don't have to use some of the nasty chemicals in my hives that some beekeepers have to when they get the over too many varroa, because the varroa mites will kill hives too, and that seems to be that's what they suspect. What a lot of the
and this reduces productivity as well, I'm sure, right? Slows them down, maybe.
Yeah, it's just bad for the bees in general. You know, the varroa mites are a major plague in beekeeping, but they've only been in the U.S. since like 1989, so we haven't had them around forever. But there are certain types of bees that they're finding are more hygienic, and that they can clean the mites off of each other.
Oh, okay.
So they're working with trying to find more hygienic bees and other things to try and combat this. But the biggest thing that most beekeepers do is they gas their bees. They use a stuff called oxalic acid, which is basically a poison, but they use it in sublethal doses for their bees, but they will kill the varroa mites, but they're basically poisoning their bees. I mean, is what it comes down to it. They're just not poisoning them enough to kill them.
Right.
Do you follow the thinking, right? I don't use any of that shit in my hives. That one hive, Prometheus, the one that wasn't infested with wax moths, that hive is 4 years old and has never had any chemicals used in it.
Awesome.
And most beekeepers will not get 4 years out of a hive. You know, have a hive producing for 4 years. It just, you know, they'll requeen their bees every frickin' year, you know, and stuff. So there's a lot of things that commercial beekeepers do that I don't. You know, I'm as close to holistic organic beekeeping as you can possibly get in the middle of a city. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know, because I have no control out of what they bring back to the hive.
Absolutely.
Because they're going to flowers all over the frickin' neighborhood. So, you know, a lot of those flowers, that's why when you see some of the plants that are available in nurseries, they have the built-in insect repellent, the xenophobes or whatever the hell they're called. I can't even remember what the fuck they're called right now.
Nematodes.
But anyway, they have these things that basically will keep the bugs away from the plants, but they're bad for bees, because that stuff, the bees bring back the pollen from these flowers, and it ends up polluting their
no way
hive to the point where their larvae can't survive in it, because the wax is impregnated with these chemicals that kill the larvae.
Right.
So it will not kill the bee directly, but it basically makes the brood, and it kills the brood area for the hive. So the hive dies. You know, they can't make new baby bees. You know, got no new bees.
Wow.
So yeah, it's all a big complex thing.
It definitely sounds
it really
like
is. It's you know, and we're all trying to still understand this. You know, but when all of the beekeepers across the country in the last few years have been having all these major hive collapses, you know, when the sudden bee death
I've read
syndrome,
about that,
right?
yes.
Okay. Natural beekeepers were not losing the amount of hives that commercial beekeepers were.
Okay.
You know, because most natural beekeepers are using the smaller cell frames.
Doing old school.
Right, exactly. Now, I've got a picture on my phone. I'll show you how small those bees are when you see them up close.
Oh, yes. They're substantially smaller.
Yeah. My bees, if you look at my little bees,
Mm-hmm.
compared to these new bees.
Yeah.
See, these new bees came from probably a commercial hive with the standard size frame foundation. And so they're a 30% larger bee.
They definitely appear larger.
Right, than my little
Than
bees.
these guys.
Right. My original. And that's actually the original size of bees is that 4.9. That's the size that nature builds.
The smaller.
Right.
Okay.
Man decided to make bees bigger by increasing the foundation size to make bigger bees because they thought bigger bees would be better. But this is, 100 years ago, 125 years ago.
Well, we know science isn't absolute.
Right.
It shouldn't be.
But nature, bees have evolved for a long, long, long time without man's intervention, and they make, because in natural comb, it starts out as larger cells, and they progress to smaller cells.
Yeah.
As it hangs down, without any foundation to build on.
Right.
So the brood, the part that the queen will lay in, is in that 4.9 millimeter area.
The sweet spot.
The sweet spot. That's where the
Yes.
brood would be. The surrounding area would be used usually for like pollen and honey storage. And then they'll use the larger ones too for the male bees, which are the drone bees, because they require a larger cell than the
Okay.
female bees, the worker bees.
All right.
Right. But they don't make as many drones. They don't need as many drones. And that's another thing that a lot of beekeepers do too, is they dissuade their colonies from having drones. But a healthy colony will be 10% drones.
Okay, so I didn't know
even though they don't do
around.
anything. Male bees, drone bees, they don't do a damn thing in the hive. All they do is they take up resources that the worker bees have to feed them and care for them and basically keep them alive. That's why in the fall, they kick all the drone bees out. They don't need them for the wintertime.
Oh, right.
So they get booted out.
Oh, wow. So,
so the
what
winter
is their
bees,
role exactly other than
they
just...
fertilize the queens. That's their only role. They will fly off when there's a new queen, and they will have a mating flight with the queens. And usually the drones will all congregate in a specific geographical area, and the queens instinctively know to fly there. And they will then mate with hundreds of male bees on their mating flight. They will then come back to their hive and never leave again. They will accumulate enough male product in the course of that one flight to last their lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah, and they lay 1,000 to 2,000 eggs a day in the busy season. Like right now, the queens in those hives will be laying thousands of eggs every day. Isn't that just amazing?
Mind-blowing.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow. Okay, I want to do another video about these moths here.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna talk about wax moths in this next one. I'm gonna cut this one off and we'll do the next one. Okay.